Hey guys, it is Charles on my Wraith of Game Warriors Gaming for a Cause, and this is a new episode of our Top 5. So, on this episode of Top 5, we, as a board, voted on our top 5 favorite video game consoles of all time. So, um, we actually had a close race on 6 consoles. So, uh, now, I personally own all of these, enjoy all of these. These are all chosen by the board because of our uh, fondness of these particular consoles or a particular game on these consoles. I can't speak for everybody else, so when we are talking about the consoles, I will talk about my things that I liked about these particular consoles in general and everything. So we're going to start off with an honorable mention that came up at the, like I said, very close. So, and that is the Nintendo GameCube. Um, Now, I love this game system merely for the fact of being able to play 4 people and Mario Golf. And then, you know, there was also Mario Kart and everything else. But Mario Golf was one of my favorite standbys on the GameCube. And also, I enjoyed being able to play a lot of Game Boy Advance games through an adapter that I had. And as many of you know, I'm not big on handheld games, but that allowed me to do so. So now let's get into our top 5. And at number 5, we have the Xbox One, especially the One X. Um, the vast majority of our board members own the Xbox One of some form of fashion. Um, and you see that a lot in the Almighty Wraith versus where me and Connor are playing, or me and Adam, or anybody we're playing. There's a lot of things I like about this console. One of my main reasons for liking the Xbox One or any Xbox Series is because of the Gears of War and Halo franchises. Um, Now, Microsoft gets a lot of flack for not having a whole lot of exclusives, but those 2 exclusives right there are enough for me to keep buying an Xbox. So, moving right along into our number 4 is the Sega Dreamcast. Now, the Dreamcast, um, I didn't know very many people that own this. I do own it. I love it. The controller was a little weird, especially with the cord coming off the bottom of it, but I still enjoyed it. I especially liked the little mini uh, memory card that had the visuals on it. Now, to me, the must-have games for the Dreamcast was Quake 3 Arena and uh, Shenmue, and then a little-known game called Seaman, which had voiceover work done by the great Leonard Nimoy. Um, and it is a very odd game, but I enjoyed it. So I still have it, still play it from time to time. So moving right along into our number 3 spot. Now this one is the NES. Now for many of us, this was our introduction to video games. Um, now that was my very first console that I ever owned. I still own my original NES, as a matter of fact, and it still works. I was actually playing around with it earlier today. Um, Now, for uh, me personally, um, this was a bonding with friends, bonding with my dad, bonding with my mom, and a lot of other people. Now, uh, obviously, you've got your Mario games and all this other stuff, but for me, the one game that is a must have that unfortunately I have not been able to obtain at this time. It's a game called Base Wars. It was a futuristic baseball game where you got to play as robots. So I really enjoyed that. Now, of course, you got your Castlevanias, Metroid, and Skater Dies, and all that good stuff. But yeah, so to me, that is, I mean, if you don't have an NES or even the little NES Mini, you should get one. They're awesome. All right, so what do we have for number two? The PlayStation 4. So, now this is another one that I think probably 90% of the board has. Uh, this is another one that is featured at our tournaments. Now, for me, the main reason to have a PlayStation, so many exclusives. The Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn, Detroit Become Human. The list goes on and on and on. But to me, one of the greatest things about a PS4, now outside of the exclusives, is the VR headset. Now the VR headset is amazing. Me and Connor have had a lot of great times with that. Um, Especially playing games like Super Hot, VR Luge, and then one thing that I can't get Connor to do on this is the playing Resident Evil in VR. That to me was awesome, but it's also the reason why I have not finished Resident Evil yet. All right, so that leaves us with one more. So before we get into the number one, if you have any ones that are your favorite that were not on this list, please leave a comment below and let us know which one you like and why. So, without further ado, Game Warriors Gaming for a Cause's board of directors' number one choice of video game consoles of all time is the Nintendo 64. Now, that one right there, so many good things come from that. I mean, of course, you got your standbys of your Super Mario's, your Zeldas, and everything. But to me, the introduction of that 4-port controller, being able to play games like Battle Tanks and Mario Kart and everything else with 4 players was just phenomenal. I took the whole aggression of playing with your friends, especially like I said, Mario Kart. Took it to a whole new level. Now to me, Mario Kart is definitely one you got to have if you have a 64, and GoldenEye is another one that I don't have, but other games like Quake 2 were great additions as well. So, guys, that is our top 5 favorite video game consoles of all time as voted on by our board of directors. And until next time, guys, this is Charles Almighty Wraith saying stay awesome. Hey, guys, this is Charles Almighty Wraith, and we hope y'all enjoyed our video and everything. Be sure to check us out on all of our other social media networks, such as YouTube,
Facebook,
Twitch,
Twitter,
Instagram,
and Patreon.
And also be sure to like and share the videos. And all right, until next time, this is Almighty Wraith and
Raceway 58
saying stay awesome.